So I'm going to backpack through Europe.
Hey, we made it!
Want to come with me? And I thought I would show you what it's like, because I think backpacking is something that we think of like when you're 18 and you take a gap year and you throw your backpack on when you're 18 and you go and you explore, because Lord knows you can't do that when you are, 40 or 50. That's a young person's thing. That's what you do before you have kids, before you have a job, before you have responsibilities. And I am saying, I don't think so. I don't think people my age can backpack. I want to show you what it's like for two middle-aged women who have jobs and families and responsibilities to throw a backpack on their back like they were 18 and backpack through Europe. It started with walking the Camino from Lisbon up into Spain, a place called Santiago de Compostela. And I'm midway on that Camino, and I've just fallen in love with backpacking. I love seeing a place on foot with everything I need in my backpack and waking up in the morning and just going like, where will the road take me? And I love exploring a place on its back roads. So come with me, because I want to show you what my last backpacking trip was like. And so I want to take you on this last journey that I did. It was 4 days, and it took me from a place called Aveiro to Porto. Lots of people know Portugal for Lisbon, and for Porto, which is more in the north, or for the Algarve, which is the south. But there's beautiful places in between. I want to show you what that's like. Partly because I think it's important that we step outside our stereotypes and what we believe is possible at certain ages. Yes, it's great to go backpacking when you're 18 and you have a gap year in college, or you're single with no kids. 100%, that's great. But also, don't count yourself out if you're 49 and you have 3 kids and you have a job and businesses and responsibilities. Don't count yourself out of experiences because of your age. Don't count yourself out because you're afraid that you might not physically be able to do something like, oh, that sounds very physical, and so therefore I'm going to count myself out of that experience, because you don't have to do it the way an 18-year-old would do it. You don't have to walk 20 kilometers or 40 kilometers in one day. You don't have to even carry your pack with you. There are surfaces that help transport your pack while you walk without a pack. There are ways to approach things that meet your needs, that still allow you to experience things. And so that's what I want you to see today. I want you to not count yourself out of experiences because of your physical ability or your age. What would it be like if we imagine that lots of things are available and possible for us? What would that be like? What things are we missing because we're counting ourselves out, that we are the first to be like, no, I think I'm 49 and I'm too old to do something like that. Is that true? Because I think like an 80-year-old just did a marathon or something crazy like that. I mean, it was like, people are pushing boundaries because they're choosing to let go of limits in their mind. I want that to be me. This was definitely an early morning start, and I was nervous that I would be really tired even before I had started walking. The train ride was really comfortable. They had a cafe, and it felt like we were riding on an airplane.
Come here! Okay.
As soon as we got off the train, it started to pour. It just downpoured, and it didn't stop for the rest of the day. So this is what it looked like. Just bundled up with our rain ponchos and making the best of it. We were able to see a lot of historical sites, like this 18th century chapel in the middle of the little town. By the time we reached our hotel, we could barely walk. We did day 1 of this leg of the Camino. We walked about 16 to 17 kilometers today. It was raining the entire day, and it was in the 40s. was the first time we walked in the rain. So we had raincoats, rain ponchos on all day long. And my feet were wet the entire time. From as soon as I started at 9:30 until I got done at 4:30, my socks were wet. I could wring them out. That part wasn't fun. But I did dress warm enough that I wasn't freezing because my feet and my hands were cold. We're really lucky because the place that we're staying at has a laundromat right downstairs nearby, and so I think we're gonna dry some things before we leave tomorrow and start it all over again.
Turns out we didn't need a laundromat the next morning. We had heard a tip from other Camino walkers to remove the wet insoles and stuff the shoes with paper towels. The next morning, thanks to this trick and a nice toasty heater, our shoes were nice and dry for our walk. And although we had a good night's rest, we were ready to leave the guest house that morning. It was quirky, to say the least.
Shower that's like 20 feet tall. This is there's the shower head way up there. Just have to let the rain fall on your back, because if you don't want to get your hair wet, this is how I was showering last night. Because then at one point I was kind of like, not quite the most practical.
Although the morning was forecasted for rain, it held out and we actually had a beautiful walk. It was nice and cool, but there were no raindrops, and that made our walk,
Oh God, is it on me?
really enjoyable. We left the main trail and decided to go off the beaten path and take a sandy route that walked right alongside the ocean, and we were really glad we did. It was a little tougher because we were walking in sand as opposed to asphalt, but we had beautiful views of the waves and the water, and it just was so picturesque. So although our thighs were burning, our eyes were enjoying the scenery. There was also an advisory for high surf, and that was the reason why we did not walk along the actual beach. When we stood here, we could see it would have been very dangerous. We splurged a little on this hotel. Sometimes it's just nice to have a little bit of luxury at the end of a long walk.
So this is day 3? Day 3. We're on day 3.
Okay, so now we came to one of my favorite parts of this trail. It was pretty much boardwalks all along the ocean. And the views were beautiful. We weren't in the sand, so the walking was very easy. And it just turned out to be so sunny. It was just a treat to be by the water all day long. Until...
Here's a question. How did we get past this? Yeah, that's a river and a giant broken path. Oh no!
It was a little bit disheartening to see that our path had come to a dead end and that the only way through was through the water.
So instead we're gonna backtrack just a few steps here to this pathway that goes across, and we'll go out to the road because we don't want to get our feet wet and sandy. Take off all of our socks.
Well, we would if we didn't have another 7K left to walk.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to walk this whole thing. Should I go see if that's just the ceiling I'm seeing?
Yeah, let's walk.
Whoa.
Oh, it's so dumb.
Why don't they put the closed no sign of hair.
This was the first time on the Camino that I've ever had to walk backwards on a trail, and I did not like it. So now we're doing a detour to our detour. And going to the next detour down. And I don't like walking backwards when we have so far to walk. We used the time to make a pit stop at a local grocery store to pick up some water and some other snacks, so it all worked out. You wouldn't even believe this sunset. It's crazy. It's gorgeous. And now we're here in Porto, and it took us 12 days, over 2 years, like over 300 kilometers. We did it on our own time, no injuries. I mean, we just had a blast, but we fit it in where we could. And now we're here midway, and we can't believe that we're here. You kind of like want to walk in a Harry Potter Hogwarts. You feel like you're in Diagon Alley. You like that like dark, mystical, foggy vibe. You would love Porto. Love it. I will have to say my big takeaways are I actually love walking the Camino in the winter. It's raining now. I don't mind the rain so much. I don't love the heat. And so I'm finding it to be really enjoyable to walk the Camino in the winter. I don't know, we're gonna explore Porto, have a really fun time. We're gonna celebrate our progress. There's a lot ahead still. When we were looking at from Porto to Santiago, we were like, oh my gosh, that's a lot more walking to do. So we're gonna put the pin in that, and we're just going to like celebrate that we've reached the halfway point. So we're gonna walk around before we catch our train back to Lisbon. There's a lot to see, it's gorgeous. Even though it's raining and foggy, it's gorgeous. So I'm excited, and yay, we made it halfway.